bringing you live coverage from all of Europe.
We have breaking news. The Navigation Act, although effective and cunning, has become the recent catalyst for the European conflicts. Reporter Jesse Carlin has the details.
Thanks, Natalie. From 1701 to 1713, the War of Spanish Succession ravaged Europe. This war included Louis XIV and Philip of Anjou. After the death of the inept idiot Charles II, his will explained how the Spanish throne must be left to the French, while simultaneously keeping the French and Spanish powers separate. Louis XIV wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to benefit France, so he gladly accepted and used Spain for rich trade and Netherlands for land. As you can see, this would obviously upset other countries like Dutch and England, because this unification upset the balance of power. In response, the Netherlands, England, Prussia, and Austria formed a grand alliance against France in 1701 to respond to Louis' attempts.
Fornicator right into ninny!
Hello. This is Olivia Sabatini here to explain the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713, the conclusion of the war. After 12 years of fighting of the Spanish succession, Louis XIV was defeated by a great coalition of states and was forced to agree to the Treaty of Utrecht. Louis had to cede Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and the territory of the Hudson Bay to Britain, and Britain then became a large and dominant power. This treaty checked France's power and limited their opportunities of expansion. Spain was compelled to grant Britain control of the Asiento, Spain's West Africa slave trade monopoly. In addition, Britain was allowed to send one ship of merchandise into the Spanish colonies annually, which added to Britain's economic prosperity and colonial dominance. To you, Alex.
Stunning. Now we go to Natalie with the War of the Austrian Succession.
The War of the Austrian Succession was from 1740 to 1748. This war involved Austria and Prussia and began when Frederick the Great of Prussia seized Silesia from Austria. Frederick defied the Pragmatic Sanction, which asserted that the Habsburg Empire could not be divided. This struggle for Silesia between Maria Theresa and Frederick the Great also sparked conflicts between Great Britain and France on the colonial fronts of India and North America. This war resulted in no change in the territorial situation in North America. Back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Natalie. Now this leaves the third and final Mercantilist War. From 1756 to 1763, the Seven Years' War raged in Europe and the New World. Austria under Maria Theresa fought for the territory of Silesia back from Prussia. Maria Theresa wanted to re-establish the Habsburgs because she herself was a Habsburg. In conclusion, Prussia won and Britain became the supreme power on the colonial front. The Treaty of Paris established England as the rising power. Frederick, seeing that he could have the potential to better his country, made a variety of changes including abolishing torture to prisoners and increasing agriculture. This is the CBS News team signing out. Have a good night. After the 7 Years' War, there was a lot of significant effects and changes in North America. It changed the relations mainly between Britain, France, and Spain. After the wars, in about 1763, Britain received most of the benefit. As said before, France had to give up Canada, it's up here, the Mississippi area, which is over here, and Indian lands. Before the 7 Years' War, British, French, and Spanish land was significantly divided, however, in about 1755. The French held Quebec and Louisiana, so Quebec over here, and then Louisiana in the middle. The Spanish held the South, mostly Mexico, Texas, and New Mexico going into South America. So all this area down here. And the British held the 13 colonies in the area around the Hudson Bay in Canada. So the 13 colonies in the east, and then the Hudson Bay in the north around Canada. But in 1763, there is a drastic change in the land holdings of North America. The French give up their territories to the Spanish and the British. So, in contrast with 1755, which is over here, all of this land in the middle around Louisiana is divided among the British and the Spanish. While the Spanish held this territory and Louisiana, Mexico, Texas, and so forth to the south, so all this area over here, the British Empire dominates the north. So basically everything up and over Louisiana. Obviously occupying the 13 colonies, British forces pushed into Canada as far as the Hudson Bay. So, as a result of these three wars, mainly the 7 Years' War, we see a shift in the balance of power on the colonial front of Britain.